We back, baby. It's been a minute. I'm Javier. This is Danny.
What is up,
bro?
Not much. What's going on with you, homie?
I'm chilling, bro. It's been a while. You know, we are basically the 2024 NYCFC. We're hot one week and then cold the next. We're like content. And then the next 2 weeks, we're like, yeah, I don't know about this show. Maybe we should stop.
Yeah, bro. We be ghosting each other. Be like, pod? They're like, I'm going to pretend I didn't see this message.
I didn't see that message, bro. Nah, I'm not trying to do this. But we're back, bro. It's good to be back. What I get frustrated with us is we'll like have 3 games in a row dominating. We don't do a pod. Then we get killed and we're like, why don't we shoot a pod this way?
Bro. You know what? I was thinking about this though, because as you see, I'm back in a hotel. I'm in goddamn Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'm like, we got all this special equipment. You can't get a guest star, bro. It's gotta be me. Bring Trey in for an episode. Go bring in the post 90 forever.
You know what?
You don't need me.
I don't need you, bro. You're done. Out of the podcast, bro. You know what? You're giving me Jovan Mihatovic vibes right now, bro. Like you want to be in the starting 11. You're getting frustrated because you're not coming out to play, bro. So we got to talk about that Jovan story. But before we get into the Jovan story, where are we going with this? For I don't want to host a podcast anymore.
I thought we were doing small talk, banner, but I think you're done with it. You want to go straight to the games?
No, we could talk. Oh, did you just see the Atlanta game?
No, what happened?
Great game. It went into penalty shootouts. Josef Martinez was going against Atlanta, his former team. So it was really cool. He made a goal. It was cool. But it begs to differ that it was a knockout game. And we're going to go to the best of 3. And granted, the best of 3 is good for us right now because we are playing. We're technically not the home team because we only have 1 home game. But knockout rounds are so fun. Like they should have never made it a best of 3. Like that's what makes the playoffs so fun. Like games like today with that Atlanta game, it was sick, bro.
But I would say I was so sad when we lost that Montreal game that like we weren't gonna have any more home games, and that now a home game is set for us. It's kind of fire. And if you think about it, you can get the same thing in a game 3 if we make it to a game 3. So I'm not completely honestly. I think it's only because we have a home field game. I think in general, I do like the knockout elimination way of doing it, but having a home game is nice. And now that we actually have a stadium to play it in, it's even nicer.
Yeah, so it just got announced that we are playing in Citi Field. It got announced today, which was crazy because it was like they had a golf event that was going to happen that day. Everybody's like, we're screwed, bro. I think you mentioned, like, why don't we just play the game while the golf event was happening, bro? That was crazy, bro. You have to make it over the field. Yo, by the way, I know we complain a lot, but this goes to, like, MLS just being a shitty league. Did you see the news about the Vancouver Whitecaps?
No, what happened?
Bro, this is crazy. Vancouver Whitecaps, Portland Timbers. They're fighting for the 8th and 9th spot. Vancouver Whitecaps get the 8th spot, which means they should be the home field team for the playoff game.
Okay.
There's a Supercross event at the Vancouver Whitecaps Stadium. They can't play at their stadium, but there's also no other stadiums around that can host them. They're going to go play their home game at Portland's stadium. This is crazy, bro.
That's insane.
So for all the pitching we do as NYCFC fans, that is wild, bro. That is like unacceptable.
Also mad ghetto.
Man, this league be so ghetto sometimes, bro. This is like you wanted something from Amazon, but it came from Temu, and it's like this thing is trash, bro.
Is it their own stadium though? Like, do they book their?
I thought it was their own stadium. I don't know how that works, but I guess that's their home. That's where they play all the time. I don't know if other things play in that stadium. Like, I don't know. What do Canadians play other than football, soccer? Sure, maybe it's a hockey main arena. I don't know, bro. But that was a wild story.
That is wild. We be bitching because we got to go to New Jersey. These guys are going deep.
Bro, if we had to go to New Jersey, I would have been bitching nonstop, though. I'm not even going to lie. So NYCFC did good because I was going to lose my shit, bro.
Also, I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but there's a good chance that we could end up playing the Red Bulls and have home field, but then not have home field. That would be interesting.
No, we'd be good.
Oh, yeah, because the Mets are out.
Yeah, and the Yankees, I think, will be done too with their World Series by that time.
Yeah, that's a good
By the
point.
way, shout out to the Yankees, bro. Come on. You know I'm a Yankees fan. They're dominating, and everybody wanted this NYCFC New York Yankees versus LA Dodgers. So this is gonna be a good World Series. I know you're not a baseball fan, but I get kind of hyped with it.
Honestly, I end up watching the Cleveland Yankee series, and it was kind of cool to watch baseball again. I haven't watched baseball in years, and that's because I'm not going to spend 6 hours in a game. But the pitch clock makes such a big difference.
Oh yeah, it's such a faster pace, which is crazy because the games are still like 4 hours long, but it's still so much better to watch. And honestly, the playoffs are always kind of fun in baseball. I don't know why. There's like an extra intensity. It's not like the whole stadium's empty, so it feels bigger and better.
Did you see on Instagram though, real quick before we transition to soccer? The tickets are so expensive to the World Series. There was some dude who was like, "I'm just gonna keep taking the 4 train back and forth so I can watch the game."
Yeah, I will follow that TikTok. Is he really gonna do it?
I don't know if he is or not, but I thought that was hilarious.
How much are tickets going for?
I saw like the cheapest ticket was like a G.
That's crazy, bro.
That is crazy.
Do you have any concerns that when the stadium opens up, our pricing is going to be ridiculous like that for playoff games?
Bro, we Temu of soccer. We're good. We pay more for the season tickets than if you just bought a regular season ticket every game, I think.
That's true. I looked at the playoff tickets right now for our home game, $60, bro. Cheap. You get in there, yo. Get those tickets. Let's fill up that stadium. But I was thinking about that. Oh, there was Glenn Crooks recently said something like, he had like the lowest viewership in that Montreal game, like listenership. In his radio broadcast, and it made me think there's just so much New York sports going on right now. Like the Knicks are playing today, the Liberty were in the final, the Yankees are around, the Mets were in the playoffs. So it's like it's hard to compete with those other sports, and it just goes to show we're just not there yet. Like those other sports are just grabbing people's attention, even if it has a different time slot. Like I think the Yankees were 2 hours after NYCFC game started, but like you're going to a bar, you're going to meet up with friends, so it makes sense that the viewership is a little less, and that soccer is not in the forefront as much as we want it to be. So though,
yeah, agreed. Also, it's something that I heard we're way off, but this game is terrible. So let's just talk about it. But Between Clean Sheets, I don't know if you know that account. She like is living off a truck and she talks about soccer and she goes to a lot of soccer games.
Yes, I've heard of her.
I just saw a post that she had today, which was like, she doesn't have a phone. She wants to watch it at a bar. She's in a bar in like Denver or somewhere, and she wants to watch the game tonight that was just happening. And it was like, how do I get a bar to put on the game if they don't have an Apple TV? And even if they have Apple TV, then I can tell them to sign into my account to put on the game.
Yeah, it's a disaster, bro.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, I don't know where she was at the moment where she was trying to watch the game, but like that's happening in New York. Like NYCFC fans can't go to their local bar to watch a game. It's just not happening. And it's like, okay, when you go to like a big sports bar, there's like thousands of TVs. So you could get one TV usually for yourself. But these guys aren't signing up $100 for Apple TV. It's just not happening. So then there's no way for you to really watch it. So if you're at a bar watching on your phone, that takes away the whole point of being at a bar.
Yeah, exactly. But somehow you walk into any bar and somehow like you're watching Egypt play Uruguay. and like some random ass friendly just because it's on cable. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, they like soccer, and they just put it on.
Yeah, I think
You
it's
can't
gonna.
do that with MLS.
I think Don Garber actually had a thing like, oh, like we're gonna see how much streaming like it makes an impact this with this new subscription. Basically, like, is it gonna be what they thought it was gonna be, or is it gonna be a failure? Basically, and we don't. I mean, to a certain extent, I feel like sometimes it's a failure. It's nice for people who are straight up MLS fans who just want to watch that, but other than that, I feel like it's not the best.
Yeah, and one more thing with the whole Don Garber thing, like you said, we're kind of a bootleg. We're a little. I'm not gonna say bootleg, but we're just a very different type of like soccer thing. So like, let's take some risk, man. Like, if we need to change things immediately, let's just change it. Like, no one's gonna be like, oh, well, the foundation of MLS is XYZ, and you can't change it. Like baseball, trying to get that pitch clock that took them like 50 years to do. Like, I think we can make changes quickly when we need to. I mean. And the funny thing is, like, I feel like they make changes, but like the weirdest fucking ways, like the way they change the playoff system every year.
Bro, last year we didn't know what the playoffs were gonna look like till like 2 days before the playoff. Like, wait, that's how it's gonna be played, bro.
Bro, when it was a 3-round, I just found that out like 2 days ago.
Wait,
like
dude, we had that last year though. That's just you being a dumb soccer fan.
But they change it every year.
Oh well, yeah. I guess you could have thought they were going to change it again because they do change it every year.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's get into some NYCFC. Right. People are already bored of us. We forgot how to podcast, bro. We're so off topic. We go against.
We lost.
Yeah, we lost. I mean, I feel like I don't even really want to talk about this game. I guess if you had a major takeaway from this game, what would it be?
Kind of what you mentioned earlier on a joke, the way we're like so streaky and this team is so streaky and like we lost momentum from that international break and is that going to hurt us in the long run? It's kind of the storyline I had thinking about this game. Like if you think about it, we came out of this right before this game. We lost to Montreal, which is a team that we consistently, I don't think this might be their first win against us ever.
No. First win at their house. We've always beat them at their house. They've never lost at their house. I mean, we'd never lost to them at their house.
Yeah, so we've never lost to them at their house before. Yeah. And then we came off a game where we had a 3-1 win against Nashville, which we didn't talk about and we should have. A 3-2 game against Cincinnati. And Cincinnati is a very good team. And then 1-5 against the Red Bulls and 1 against Miami. 1-1, that draw that kind of started this kind of winning streak in a way. So it's like, first of all, goes back kind of to what we were just talking about. The schedule is crazy. Having an international break right before the playoffs is insane in itself. And then it hurts the team because we have a young team that kind of works off momentum. And I think momentum is really what hurt this team.
Yeah, and it's exactly right about that international stuff. That drove me crazy, man. Like we're in the midst of a playoff run, and like even like the fan base loses steam. You start. Oh wait, we're playing again now. Oh, but then the playoffs start in a week. Like it shouldn't happen that way. It's like so disorganized in that way. Like it should be. Like you should have known there's going to be an international break here. How do we make it that this happens? Oh, maybe this week is the week that everybody takes a break to then get into the playoffs. Something like that makes a little more sense. But to have it right now, as the team was streaking, we won I think 3 in a row before that. Yeah, we won 3 in a row, and they were big games we won. Red Bull, Cincinnati. I mean, Nashville's trash, but Red Bull and Cincinnati in themselves were the hugest games this season, you could say. Mm-hmm. And then we go and we lose momentum. And it's still not to make an excuse because the team still should have came out ready. But I think it's a huge problem. Another storyline I kind of take away from this is looking at the starting 11. One thing that I'm a little concerned with is I understand Justin Hack has been pretty streaky. He's been doing well these last couple games. But if Burke Risa is back at full health, then I think he should be starting because who is going to be our starter in the playoffs? If we look at Burke Risa, and I know some of it might be due to injury, he's only started 1 of the last 7 games. So now we have a Burke Risa, and we know center backs and their dynamic too. Like we had the Chanot Callens Like that relationship matters a lot. So now if you've had 7 games where you guys haven't really played with each other, that's a problem. And I'm like, who's going to be our starter? Is it going to be Justin Hack? Oh, because then I kind of understand the move. If it's not going to be Justin Hack, now you have Burke Risa only playing 1 out of the last 7 games, and he could be rusty, or that connection could be a little bit, not as solid.
I mean, what I would say to that is it's definitely injury. I don't think Cushing's making the decision that Hack is better than Risa, and that's why he's giving him starts. Especially, like you said, with knowing that chemistry between center and back is super important.
But Cushing did say in a press conference, like, "Oh, the guys would have murdered me if I don't start Justin Hack." He said that before the game. He's like, "I don't want to give away who I'm starting, but Hack is one of those guys who, like, the guys would have murdered me if he didn't start." Which I don't know if the guys would have murdered you if it means that, like, if we know Reese is that center back. Like, that's been he's locked down that spot, and I get. Because of injury, Justin Hack kind of stepped in, but I also want to see my guys moving forward and be playing together more consistently. Like, we already know this front line is kind of what he's chosen. Martinez, Rodriguez, Max Morales, Wolf. Those are the guys up front. Then we have Sands and Parks. Those guys are locked in. Really, the thing that keeps changing is O'Toole and Christian McFarland, and now Hack with Risa. But I think we need to lock that in right before the playoffs, because you need that consistent team to keep. You already tinkered the whole rest of the season.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So that was one of the things that drove me a little crazy.
But my question to you, though, is hindsight's 2020, because Burke Risa gave up, not Burke Risa, Justin Hack gave up one of the goals this game. But would you want 60% Burke Risa or 100% Justin Hack? Because, right, Burke Risa at this point isn't in form, right? And so you have Burke Risa isn't in form. Justin Hack has played multiple games in a row. Do you want to play a hot Hack or a cold Risa, who might not physically be at 100%?
Well, I want to play. Well, the thing is, I think the main question is he at 100% now? Like, I'm pretty certain, did he start? He started against Nashville. So you get me? So if he started against Nashville, granted, Hack started too, but Hack was more in the midfield because Sands had a yellow card accumulation and then he couldn't play. But if Risa was fine to start that game, he played the full 90. It's not a health thing for Risa. So I need Risa, who's gonna, if he was fully healthy for Nashville, he was probably fully healthy for Toronto. He should be starting. You need to build that momentum going into the playoffs. This was an important game. Let's not also forget that either. The reason why we're not a home team is we fucked this game up, and it shouldn't have been a loss, and Charlotte shouldn't have come over us. There was only a 19% chance that Charlotte overtopped us, like on the chart. So that was a big mess up, because we at least would have been 5th, and then we would have played Orlando, but now we're playing Cincy. To follow up with a question for you, are you more comfortable playing against Cincy versus Orlando?
Well, Orlando is hot right now, so it's weird. I know we've played Cincy 2 other times this season, and actually we played them 3 times and we lost 2 of those times, but the last time we played them we beat them. So it's weird. Although Cincy's further up in the lineup, I feel like Orlando is on fire. I don't know how many games Orlando has won in a row, but
they lost their last one to Atlanta. That's how Atlanta got into the playoffs. But they won 3 in a row before that, beating Philly, Cincy, and Dallas.
Yeah, and the game that they lost before that, they scored 3 against the Crew. So they're a serious team. So I'm not like, I don't know. I kind of like the Evo that and we know Cincy. We played them multiple times this year between Leagues Cup and 2 season games. So I don't know. I'm kind of down for the Cincy matchup. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I'd prefer we have won the game, because then we would have had home field, and then we could have played Orlando at home 2 times versus once. I mean, that's the bottom line of what I would have loved in the most ideal scenario. But I don't know. I'm honestly scared of Cincy. I mean, when you got somebody like Lucha Acosta, he's so dangerous that it feels like and he just by himself he could bring this team back. And
wait. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves though. Do we want to talk about that, or we're not going to talk about this game anymore?
What else I guess, do you take anything else from this game?
I guess two things I want to talk about this game was, one, if you look at the moment, I think what went wrong with the team, right? So I think Hack and us playing some poor defense, but only like moments. Like, I think what happens with this team sometimes, especially the young team, is they lose focus, and then the other team, the opposing team, really gets us in those moments that we lose focus. But for the exception of those opportunities, I think what happened here was, statistically, we looked like the better team. We had 59% possession versus their 41. We had a 1.73 expected goals versus their 0.7. We had 16 total shots versus I think they had 5 total shots. But the big thing was we only had 4 shots on target, and the way they had 4 shots on target. So I think it kind of goes back to a bit of old NYCFC. We weren't clinical in the box, and you can tell that. And I think Alonso Martinez, Santiago Rodriguez had really off days. Alonso Martinez's FOTBAR rating was 5.9, which is bad. And I think Santi had been a tough game too. So I think I said a lot there, but I think I just wanted to point out that I do think that statistically we had like a great game. We looked like we could have won based off just the stats, but I think what hurt us was just poor finishing.
Yeah, and one of those people that I want to highlight in the finishing is Keaton Parks. I mean, he does so much of everything else right, but it just feels like when he gets that ball in the box, there is no danger to the defense or to the other team. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like even when the ball is placed, it's placed softly towards the net, and the goalkeeper, it's an easy stop for the goalkeeper, easy stop for the defender, and he's just got to be more deadly. How many goals does Keaton Parks have this season? I have to double check, but I just feel like he's not deadly enough, and like he's always in those positions to be deadly, but then he doesn't finish, and it drives me a little crazy. Oh, by the way, he had 2 goals this year. I mean, granted, he's not one to be the one who has to score, but it's just like, I just feel like he gets himself in all these positions to score, and then it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think he has been hanging out with Moonstuff a little too much.
That's messed up, bro. By the way, Santi Rodriguez became our first player, and this stat was crazy when they said it on the broadcast, to have double-digit goals and double-digit assists. He has 10 assists. No, he has 10 assists and 12 goals, I'm pretty sure. But that's never happened.
I was shocked that Maxi didn't hit that in previous years.
That's what I was saying. I checked Maxi. He didn't hit it. I thought David Villa might have hit it too, and he didn't hit it either. Those were like the main guys. I was like, they really didn't hit those goals? So I was actually pretty shocked. No Castellanos either.
That's crazy.
So you've been shitting on Santi, bro. Shut you up.
Not shitting on. I'm just saying the bar's too high for it. He's not reaching that bar, but it is what it is. Also, can we talk about Alonso Martinez? I know he had a terrible game, and I just talked about that. But because we didn't talk about those last 2 games, I mean, Alonso Martinez, we talked about this, I think through a tweet. If you he, I think, is like in the top 10 goal scorers of the MLS season, with playing about 500, 600 minutes less than the who's the guy from DC? Benteke? I think he's the Golden Boot winner, or will be the Golden Boot winner. I mean, bro, imagine if Alonso Martinez was from the beginning. My man would have easily won the Golden Boot. So, yeah. I mean, shout out to him for those past 2 games before this Montreal game. My man was on fire. And between that and those 2 games and the Red Bull game that we covered, I mean, if he can keep it up and not have the games like he had on Montreal, he could be our striker for the future. Maybe.
I mean, yeah, and he scored for his I forget what nationality he is, but he scored for his national team. Is he Costa Rican?
I don't know if he scored. I thought he assisted.
Oh, yeah, whatever. He had an impact on his Instagram.
Yeah.
he's kind of reminding me of a little bit of Tati S, and it's way too early for that. But like, just like some guy we didn't expect it, who played winger before and then became a striker. That's kind of like the trajectory he's going, and he has that finishing capability that we're lacking. So for sure, he's becoming that guy.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
But there was a tweet after that game that I want to get to. Not a tweet, an Instagram post by Jovan Mihatovic. So I'm gonna read the post that he put on his story. It was his Instagram story, and he says this: "An old gold watch is not valuable in a jewelry store, but when you go to a museum, they will offer a lot for it. If you're not the problem, but you are not the problem, but where you are right now is teach people to appreciate you and show them who you really are." Now, and he's wearing his soccer jersey in his post. I mean, I think this is the direct shot at NYCFC. What do you make of this?
That I've never seen a gold watch in a museum before. Like, what is he talking about, homie?
Bro, but you do see it at a jewelry store. So half of his statement makes sense and half of his complaining makes sense. By the way, the guy who tweeted this out, he captured the picture of his Instagram story. He also followed up with him and said, what did he say? Hold on.
He said, I remember I saw it. He was like, respect the process. And then Jovan wrote back, they don't have a process.
Yeah, that was wild. So, what do you take? I mean, I have my own opinions, but what do you feel?
I mean, I think he's young, and so I'm conflicted. One, from what we saw, he was a young dude who had real raw talent, got paid $7 million to come here. If you're getting a $7 million deal, you think the expectation is that you're the starter. And what I saw when he was on the pitch was he didn't deserve to be the starter. On the other end, for you to learn to become a starter, you need minutes on the pitch. And Cushing loves to be Cushing and take his guys and play them even though they suck for a really long time. So we saw Moonsef out there forever. And the question is, during that time, should have he have given Jovan a chance, which Jovan gives me Talus Magno vibes. Young, super talented, has the skill set, but doesn't do it the Cushing way and then gets put on the sideline. So, and if it's that second one, I completely understand why he's frustrated. If it's the first one, then he's a young guy who needs to learn how to grow up. So, I don't know.
Yeah, what I'm curious is, what was the expectation? Because this isn't a new occurrence. What was it? Jovan's grandmother on an Instagram story or something expressed her frustration of him not starting. Like, why wasn't he starting? So what it makes me feel like is maybe the expectations that were set for him in his mind or for him coming here was that he was going to be a starter. That's the only thing I could think of.
I mean, dude got paid a $7 million transfer fee. At that point, we thought he was going to be the starter.
But at the same time, I will say he's young. Like, that's like a rookie joining the NFL, a quarterback rookie joining the NFL and thinking he's going to be the automatic starter. You have to earn that spot. And then he didn't do anything really to earn that spot.
I mean, I kind of agree with you, but let's say the rookie starter, got drafted first round, and then who you're replacing is the rookie starter from last year's first round, and that's the reason they draft another first round pick. You know what I mean? Because he sucked. Like.
So you're saying he didn't have a proven striker at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah, another whole interesting thing about this whole thing, Jovan, after I think it was the Red Bull game, looked super frustrated. I think the Post 90s tweeted something out, or saw like from the Apple broadcast, like he looking upset. And I mean, he cheered on his teammates after, so I wouldn't like look too into that. But that frustration, I think, is coming from him not getting any minutes or playing in those big games. Does this get you concerns for the locker room? Like, if you're like that there is a guy in there who's frustrated and expressing his frustration publicly.
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I think if he was maybe a leader of the team, those have more impact, right? I think we all got those somebody in our job that's the negative Nancy. And as long as you stay away from them and they're on their own corner, it's fine. He's not on the pitch. He's in practice, right? But I think it's different. And it seems like he has relationships with some people. I think the relationship is probably hurting between him and Cushing, maybe him in the front office. I don't know if it's going in. When Micha scored, they were cheering like crazy. So I think, he's happy to see his teammates succeed. I think, but I get it too. You came to play soccer. You're 19 years old. You want to play, and not playing is frustrating.
And then one thing about the whole Cushing thing is that rebuttal at that fan who said, "Oh, there is no process." Is that a concern? I mean, like, you have a bunch of young guys. Tallis Magno was clearly frustrated when he was leaving and felt like, I mean, we know from Tallis Magno's camp, like, there wasn't very good relationships with him and Nick Cushing. Is there a disconnect with these younger guys and Nick Cushing? Because that's a problem, right? Like, if you're not getting through to these young guys and you built the youngest team in the league, that's an issue. Like, you should be maybe, I don't know how their relationships mold and how they play out, but like, on these younger guys, you should be like on them, you know what I mean? Or making sure they feel some type of way, because this can affect the locker room.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think it's been a long concern with Cushing is like, does Cushing do the right things to motivate this team to get them going? I still think it's a work in progress for them. I think, we've heard it from Tallis Magno's camp and other places. It feels like Tallis Magno, and it's obvious kind of too on the pitch, like you see players who aren't the most talented getting a lot of minutes. And I think Cushing has a real way of working where if you play the way he wants to play in practice and his game plan, you get that starting time, even if you might not be the most qualified person in that position. And I think that can frustrate a lot of people. And so how do you keep your game plan intact while motivating people? It's a tough thing to juggle. I think you and me, when we're after a loss, say maybe he needs to mold to work with the superstars he has versus trying to mold to his game plan. But he's a good X's and O's guys. Like, we see some of his coaching and we go, wow, he really came out with the right game plan for this team. The thing is, can you get the team to execute if they're not as motivated? I don't know, homie. I don't know. I guess we'll find out because it's playoff time.
The only pushback I would say to Jovan is like, why now? Like, this is horrible timing. Like, I get it. You might be emotional after a loss, but like, that is just really bad timing. Like, your team's going into the playoffs. Like, express your frustrations after you guys get eliminated. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Like, all right, you feel frustrated. And these frustrations could be a concern. Like, does he want out? Like, can it start becoming like, oh, we're going into a winter off season? Like, does he want a trade? So we don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's very interesting, the timing, and very immature in a way.
But bro, he was at the museum. He saw the gold watch. He says, oh shit, I found something here. It all clicked in his head and you have to get it out there.
You mentioned playoffs. Let's talk about it. Cincy. First, before we even get to the conversation of Cincy. Oh, you're right there, bro. You falling? I guess that leads right into my question. Will NYCFC make a actual run, or will they fall and just go down on the first round? How do you actually feel?
We got a home game, so I'm slightly inspired. But we're not that great on the road. We haven't been that great on the road forever. And Cincy is not an easy team to beat. So I think it's going to be a really, really tough stretch to get past Cincy. And I do think the momentum hurt us. So am I hoping that we can get past this? Yes. Am I confident? I am not confident.
I think my confidence is just the inconsistency. My lack of confidence is more the thing, like just inconsistent. But let's first let's lay out the negatives. Since Pat Noonan's been the coach of Cincinnati, they're 5-2-1 against us. 5 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. Those are all against Nick Cushing, by the way. So he's been basically dominating us. I think we just gave him their first loss in Nick Cushing tenure. We also have that's also a stat from Hudson River Blue, so I want to give them credit. This other stat too is well, no, this isn't really their stat, but it's from 4. We lost to them in that Cup Leagues game, and that was like one of our worst loss of the season. Like we were up 2-0 in the 78th minute, and then had like a colossal failure where we lost 4-2. So there should be concern with that, but we did beat them after that when we won 3-2. Actually, that game is when when there was a racial slur to Lucho Acosta, and then like they stopped everything, and it was talked about after. But but one positive. FC Cincinnati's home record is actually kind of trash. I was shocked by this. They are 8th in the league just based off their home record. So they have 7 wins, 3 draws, and 7 losses, which is kind of crazy. They're not a great home team, which I think the year before they were like super dominant, or like a couple of years before they were just dominant at home. So their home record really isn't that good, which is a positive for us. By the way, do you know where we rank up in our home, like at home? Because this year, has it felt like
season?
This season. Has it felt like we've dominated this season at home?
No.
I agree. It didn't feel like it. You know who we are 3rd at home with the most wins in the East. Only behind Inter Miami and Columbus Crew.
Interesting.
All right. It didn't feel like we dominated, which we had 10 wins, 3 losses, 3 draws, 4 losses. So it just might mean the rest of the league is sucking at home this year. But it's kind of crazy that we were 3rd in the East with home wins.
And I just feel like it kind of keeps coming back to like motivation of the team. When our team plays well, which is typically at home, and that's when they're like motivated, bro, I feels like we have nothing but superstars on this team. Like when Santi and Alonso Martinez and Maxi Morales and Wolf are like running on all cylinders, it's like, who's going to beat this team? No one's going to beat this team. But then other days, they're just like absolute trash. And so like, not trash, but they just don't play up to the talent that they have, which I think falls on Cushing. But it's like, who do you get in this matchup? I do think like on paper, if you go player by player, maybe Lucho Acosta is the best player between the 22 players on the pitch, but I think we have way more talent on the pitch.
I agree. Did you look up the DraftKings stuff?
Absolutely did not.
I'm checking right now. Let's see what the odds are. See if we can give people our betting lines. Hold on.
Well, while you do that, I just want to point out, if you want to, you're going to say, what do you think is the keys to the match to win this game? I think we got to lock down Lucho Acosta. You know what I saw a stat on? The other 2 games that we lost this season, Lucho Acosta scored on both. So there was a 1-0 game that happened in March 23rd, and Lucho Acosta scored. And then in that 3-2 game, Lucho Acosta scored as well. He didn't score in the Leagues Cup game, but I think he didn't play that game. I didn't see him in the lineup.
Well, they didn't win against us on that 3-2 game.
No, but he still scored.
Oh, you're just saying lock him up.
You got to lock him up, homie. The dude's a monster. I don't know how, but at 2 feet tall, he keeps dominating. And I think we really got to make sure the game goes through him. And so the more we can keep him out of it, the better chance we have of winning.
Okay, the money line. Cincinnati minus 115 at home. Plus 265 for the draw. And NYCFC to win plus 255.
That's kind of crazy.
You think what? You think it's
negative 115 tells me they're not super favored, but then we're at plus 255 for the Ireland.
It's not bad. You know what's another whole interesting thing about all this?
Yes.
I don't know if you know this. Well, you probably don't because you're a horrible MLS fan. These next 3 games there's no ties. It goes the full 90 minutes, and if you don't win in those 90, it goes straight to penalty. And one thing I will say is during Leagues Cup, we had a lot of penalty games. How many? I think we had 2, 3.
I think we had 3. I think we lost the third game to penalties. Remember the Santi field goal?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is at least we got some burn this season with those penalty kicks. And in this round, if we go into draws, that could be huge.
That could be huge. That's a good point. I totally forgot about that. I was legit about to call this game a draw.
And if it's going to be a draw, there is no draw. So are you confident with our penalty kickers now? We didn't do it that last game.
Bro, Maxi's one of our penalty kickers. Santi is inconsistent. You know what I think is really interesting? Going back to Alonso Martinez winning Golden Boot, that's without him getting any penalty kicks. Because
because
Santi Rodriguez.
Well, are we sure he didn't get one of those?
Yes, ish.
It doesn't feel like he did. I will tell you that. It doesn't feel like he ever got a penalty kick.
I don't think he did. And so imagine if he would have also gotten the penalty kicks. I'm assuming at least 3 or 4 that Santi had this year were from penalty kicks.
You're right.
So that would have boosted his numbers even higher. But it kind of also goes to the point that Alonso Martinez doesn't have a lot of chances. So we got Maxi, who's kind of terrible at penalty kicks. We got Santi, who I don't know. You just don't know the Santi you get in that day. And then you have Alonso Martinez, who's not super, just has had a lot of opportunities at penalty kicks. So it's interesting. You know what I mean? Hopefully we don't have to get there. But we also have Matt Freese, one of the greatest goalkeepers of all time. So
that's a positive. One stat that might negate this whole penalty kick talk is FC Cincinnati and New York have not drawn any of their last 6 games against each other. So the whole conversation might be mute because these teams don't draw against each other. So we'll see.
Bro, talking about Matt Freese, did you know that NYCFC hasn't kept a clean sheet in 13 matches?
This shit is crazy, bro. For all Matt Freese has done for us this season, it's crazy that he has so little clean sheets.
I know. They don't keep boosting his stats in FIFA. It gets me frustrated.
All right. So what would first, I guess, money line, what would you take? Or drafting, betting wise?
Well, like you said, like I just said, no clean sheets in 13 matches. I don't think it's going to start today. So some team's I'm going to go 2-1. Well, I guess my betting thing would be over 2.5. I think over 2.5 will be a lock this game. Yeah. I guess later I'll talk about what I think the final score is going to be.
My bet would be, because I could see it happening, us scoring early somehow. Alonso Martinez doing Alonso Martinez things. And then giving up the lead late and feeling devastated because we're a young team. And this is shit that happens to us. So I'll go with the draw. And there's a draw here because if you draw in the first 90 minutes, then it's considered a draw. You win.
Yes.
So plus 265 on the draw, I think is actually pretty decent. And we haven't kept track of any of our bets anymore. It's all down the shitter. Danny made a lot of money. I lost a lot of money. That's all you got to know.
I would say, though, if somehow we could find a way to win this game, that would be amazing to have that home game when we have that home game.
Oh, yeah, because it's a game changer. Now you can go into that home game. All you got to do is win.
Yes.
That would be amazing. Dang, I didn't even think that could be an opportunity. I don't know why I'm so negative on this team, but if we can actually get a result there and then come back home, it will be electric knowing that we have a chance to win.
So I think a best case, of course, is to win the game. But if we go into PKs and find a way to win it there, I think that would be huge. Is there like extra points? No, it's just
No. You get that win basically.
Okay.
Final score prediction then for you.
I'm gonna go. I think I might. No. I'm gonna go 2-1. 2-1. We win.
Wow.
Yes, I think we're gonna be. I think the playoffs are another level of motivation. The boys are young. Hopefully, that turns them into superstars, and we come out with the W, and then we win at home, and we go to the next round.
I'm gonna go. It's a draw. Then we go into penalty shootout, but then we choke because we just. It's a big moment. We're a young team. I think we lose like the penalty shootout, like 5-4, and then we go home feeling like, you know what? We gave them a run for their money, and now we have a real chance to win this next game. I could see that happening. Is there anything else?
Yeah, where are we watching that game?
Well, the away game. Yeah, so we're gonna do a live stream, right?
Yes.
You're teaming up. I'm like, wait, are we going somewhere? I thought we were gonna live stream. Yeah. So the funny thing is, when we last did a live stream, it was for I keep forgetting.
Cincinnati.
No, Leagues Cup. There you go. Keep forgetting. Okay. It was Leagues Cup, and we were playing Cincinnati, and that's when we had that epic failure. What did
implosion.
Oh yeah, Michael called it a total implosion. Well, we're back, and our live show might be a total implosion, but please join us. We're gonna be taking calls again. Hopefully, we're a little more organized this time around, and come join us. Have some fun. We know that your bar's not playing the game anyways. Might as well just watch us. All right, be home, be comfortable, grab a drink, let's chill.
Exactly. We're like the only 7 people who have Apple TV, so let's enjoy it together. Watch the game with the blue
or if you don't have Apple TV, you go and just listen to us, and we'll try to dictate what's going on in that game, and we'll have a scoreboard that we never update for you. All right, I'm out of here, y'all. This was fun. See you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.